Hello and welcome back to another Sep Farm video. Today I'll be showing you a day in the life as a farmer. Today we'll be planting tomatoes, transferring our pepper seedlings and planning for the future. Let's get into it. So the first thing that we will be doing today is we'll be taking two of these tomato trays and we'll be transferring them in our garden bed, which will be, well, I think we can plant about 12 of them, so let's see how that goes. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take the tray. As you can see, the tomatoes are growing quite lovely, and I'm just gonna plop the tray down here, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these and I'm gonna put them on there so it will just be easier access to take them to the garden bed. So let's go. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna come and gently try and push it out without damaging it as too bad, because we will be recycling these containers. And there we go, we got one out. Look how beautiful that plant is. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take it, plop it over there. So let's get busy. And just like that, we have finished taking them out. So now, we're just being a bit careful, and now we just have to take them outside to the garden bed where we will be planting them. So let's get busy. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to come and sort of loosen the soil a bit, just so, because it will, this is where the potatoes were planted previously. So now we're just gonna shake it up. As you can see, some dead plants in there. I don't know how they got there, so we'll just remove those and continue to just aerate the soil. Alright, so we finish just tilling up the soil a bit, and we're gonna just take the tomato, and I'll show you how we do it. Is we push the sand, drop the tomato, take your two fingers, push it down, and just cover it up with soil. It's just that easy. Now we take the next one, we just leave about a 15 centimeter gap, place it down, push it down, and it's just that easy. And just like that, folks, we now have two beds, or actually three beds full of tomatoes. Right, on to the next one. Right, so we are now back in the greenhouse, and we're going to start transferring some of our pepper plants into our seedling trays over here. But as we can see, some of our seedling trays still have some sand in them, or soil I should say. So what we're going to do is we're going to just take them and empty the sand, which is actually quite hard to do. And they're actually quite stubborn just to take the sand out. So yeah, this is going to take a while, so stay tuned and enjoy. Right, so we have finished emptying the seedling trays, and this is how much soil we got out. It's almost half a bucket full. So what we will be doing now is we'll be taking these seedling trays which we just emptied, adding new fresh soil into them, and then planting in each one some peppers seedlings which have already sprouted, so they have their own home to grow. Right, so we've got the trays lined up, we have the soil next to me. So what we're gonna do is we're going to just scoop the soil up into our hands like that, and then we come by the tray and we just fill in the hole just like that. So we'll be doing that for all of them. There's two more which we can't see on the camera, which will also be filled in. Then once we're done with that, we'll start transplanting our peppers into them. And now, as you can see, we actually do reuse our seedling trays, and not just only because we care about the environment, but also because it's actually cheaper than just to buy over again. So let's just get busy. Alright, so we've managed to fill up 3 of the seedling containers, but then the soil ran out. So we have one on the floor, and for some reason one ended up here. I don't know how that happened, but that's not a problem. We can do that another time. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start to transplant these pepper seedlings, which you can see actually have grown quite well. And now if I remember correctly, if I lift the bucket, and there you can see it actually has roots coming out of the bottom. So now we just actually have to be extra careful when transplanting these into the seedling trays. So what we'll do is we'll pick one up individually, and then we'll transfer them into the soil over here. So basically it will give its own seed block, so its own soil, and then what we'll do is we'll put it in a container like this, and then in this water, I don't know if you can see it in the camera now, in that water we put all sorts of nutrients such as your zinc, your nitrogen, all those things which the plants need to thrive. And then once they have done growing to about that height, actually about till about there, then they get transferred into our real garden where they can grow big plants and eventually big chilies. So let's just get busy. Alright, so now I have a used egg container. So what we'll do is we'll take the peppers, we'll take them out of this container and plop them into individual, so we can count and see how many we have while we're going along. So I'll put this on a time lapse and let's just get busy. Right now, a few minutes later, and we have finished. And as you can see, they all have been lined up, and I will be taking them and transplanting them into those seedling trays. So again, I know I've said this about 1,000 times, they have their own space to grow. So there's about 30 there, but there's only enough space there for 15. That's very clever. That's fine, we'll get more seedling trays and plant more. Let's get cracking. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our seedling tray, we're going to pop it over there, and then what we'll do is we'll take our small little seedling of a pepper, and then with our finger just make a hole, make sure the roots go in, close them up just like that, and we just have to do that about 30 times. So you know what to do. Time for the time lapse. Right, so we have finished planting 15 peppers, and we haven't even made a dent in this. This is just a whole bunch. I think there's about 60 or 70 in there, to be honest. So what we'll do now is we'll take them and now we'll add it in there into the liquid fertilizer or water, whatever you want to call it, where the plants will stay hydrated and get all the nutrition they need from the soil and from the water which they are in. So we just plop them in like that, and ta-da, we have some beautiful pepper seedlings in here. So currently we have 20 seedlings of peppers in here and one tray of 6 tomatoes in here. So that's it for now. We have finished planting the peppers for today. Now on to taking out the weeds in the corn patch. Now you join us here in our corn patch, where as you can see there are a lot of weeds that need to be taken out, because these weeds are taking out all the nutritional value that the corns need in order to, develop their fruit. Because for example over here, you can see a little bit on the camera, but this is the start of the corn, this is actually sweet corn which we will be eating. And as we can see, it's that time where they have started to. So now it's a good idea to take out all these weeds so the corns can make beautiful mealies which we can eat. Alright, so now you can see over here, we'll try actually to angle it a lot better so you can actually see a lot more of the weeds. But now we have to take out all of these weeds. So I think it's time for another time lapse. And just by taking out so little weeds, we already have one bucket full. But I believe that will be the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and tune in to the next one. Thank you very much. See you next time.